Good morning, everyone. I'm coming to you today from my home in Houston, Texas on this very hot, muggy morning. Before we get started on today's video, I want to make a few comments as to what you can expect as we move forward. I will be adding a much more instructional perspective to videos going forward. Past videos have been heavily on the demonstration side of things. The basics of gunfighting with the handgun, rifle carbine, and the 12 gauge pump action shotgun. But going forward, I want to add a little bit more of a instructional perspective. Also, what I want to do here is I want to film or video the instructional parts of my films and the dry fire demonstrations of my filming here at my home in Houston, Texas. Primarily because it's a little bit more peaceful here at my home rather than at the shooting range where I may be competing with rifle fire, pistol fire at the various ranges. However, immediately following my instructional videos, we will be transitioning to the Renaissance Shooting Club, where I will perform live fire demonstrations of the particular instructional video immediately following the dry fire demonstrations and discussions of the techniques and skills that I am particularly discussing or demonstrating that day. So what you'll need to keep in mind is that immediately following the instructional phase and the dry fire demonstration phase of a particular video, immediately following the instructional and dry fire demonstration phase will be the live fire demonstration out at the Renaissance Shooting Club. It will all be combined into a single video. Today's video is on the handheld tactical flashlight when used with the handgun. The tactical flashlight, whether handheld or weapon mounted, should only be used as a last resort. Why? Because once you activate your tactical flashlight, you run the risk of giving away your presence, possibly your location, and even more, your body profile presentation to the bad guy. So, only use the tactical flashlight, handheld or weapon mounted, when absolutely essential. Now, why do I prefer the handheld tactical flashlight when using the handgun? Primarily because it allows more flexibility in terms of your circumstances, whether it's a wide open area, smaller area, narrow doorway, narrow hallway, and etc. And it also allows you some flexibility in terms of limiting your body profile presentation. At least one of the techniques or methods achieves that objective. So, there are 4 methods in which you can use the tactical handheld flashlight in conjunction with your handgun. So, let's get started. The first method, in terms of utilizing the handheld tactical flashlight with the handgun, is called the FBI method. It is utilizing the flashlight in the support hand. Now, during this method, as well as the other three methods, my flashlight is using what's called a combat O-ring. It was developed by a shooting instructor by the name of Graham, who worked for some time with the Federal Air Marshal's Service. Again, I utilize on my tactical handheld flashlight, in this case a Surefire, a combat O-ring. What it does, it allows me at least a feeling of confidence that I have a good grasp on the handheld tactical flashlight, which during practice is one thing, but during a real live encounter, when the pucker factor is ×5, having a confident feel or grasp of the handheld tactical flashlight is imperative. And I believe that the combat O-ring provides that objective. Now, getting back to our first method, called the FBI method, with the tactical handheld flashlight in your support hand, inserting your index finger in the combat O-ring. This method begins by extending the light away from your body as you transition to utilizing your handgun. Again, you are extending the light away from your body, which obviously limits body profile presentation to the bad guy. The worst thing could happen is that he shoots your hand, but the point is, chances are he will be aiming at the source or the direction of the light. In this case, the light is extended away from your body. Now, as I provide a dry fire demonstration, most of the four methods, if not all, in my opinion, require you to use your strong hand only in terms of your handgun. Now, if you recall in previous videos, I emphasized the need to practice shooting your handgun with your strong hand only, as well as your support hand, but in this case, strong hand only. This is where that practice will provide you a significant advantage. So, the FBI method, with the flashlight in the support hand, index finger inserted in the combat O-ring, you extend the light away from your body, utilizing your strong hand only in terms of manipulating your firearm. Now, this is an exceptional technique if you're searching a large area, but it is somewhat burdensome if you are having to search an area for an extended period of time. It's just the biomechanical manipulation of having to hold the light extended outward away from your body for an extended period of time becomes burdensome. Again, you will be utilizing the firearm, strong hand only. So this is the FBI method. The second method by which you can deploy the handheld tactical flashlight with your handgun is called the Harries Method. Now, in my opinion, the Harries Method provides the most stable shooting platform in terms of using your handgun in conjunction with your handheld tactical flashlight. Yet you are still shooting strong hand only. The method, which I will demonstrate here shortly, does provide you a much more stable platform. Again, with the handheld flashlight in your support hand, you insert your index finger through the combat O-ring. What you do in this case, in the Harries Method, you come underneath your strong arm, your strong hand. You come underneath and you create a vise. You know you have an accurate vise when your support elbow is pointed toward the ground. You will feel a very strong vise against your strong hand position. This is an effective technique in terms of searching narrow doorways, hallways, small confined areas. This is an effective search technique and the most stable in terms of providing you a platform to utilize your handgun. Now, I see shooters who shoot like this with the flashlight and the handgun. I don't know if they're trying to utilize the Harries Method, but this is incorrect. This provides you no significant stable platform to utilize your firearm at all. So, this is incorrect. This is not one of the four methods in terms of utilizing the handheld tactical flashlight. Now, the disadvantage with this particular method is that you possibly are providing a body profile presentation to the bad guy. So that's the disadvantage. But it is an effective search technique for narrow areas and small areas. And it allows you to search for extended periods of time without the biomechanical stress that the FBI possibly provides you. So that is the Harries Method. Again, the support elbow is pointing to the ground, creating that very tight, strong hand only position. The Harries Method. The third method in utilizing the handheld tactical flashlight with the handgun is called the pucket method. Again, with the flashlight in the support hand, index finger inserted through the combat O-ring, the light is positioned right beside your neck or cheek. And the advantage here is as you rotate your body in a search maneuver, the light moves with your body rotation. Again, you will have to utilize your firearm with strong hand only, but this is an effective search technique for larger areas and possibly rooms. As you rotate your body, the light rotates with you. So this is an effective search technique for large areas and, of course, for extended periods of time. Again, the pucket method does provide a body profile presentation to the bad guy. Now let's talk about the pucket position as well as the FBI position in terms of the combat O-ring. In a few minutes I will demonstrate an advantage that the combat O-ring provides, in addition to a feeling of a firm grasp on the light, is it will provide you the ability to move into a full grip with your handgun as you take a shot at the bad guy. But we will discuss that more in detail in a few minutes. But I did want to highlight that because we're talking about the pucket method, you will see demonstrated a technique in which from the pucket position you can transition to a full grip with the handgun while maintaining possession of the tactical handheld flashlight. But we'll discuss that in a few minutes. Getting back to the pucket position, holding the light next to your cheek, your neck, searching an area. As you rotate your body, the flashlight rotates with you. So that is significant, again, even for extended searches. So that is the pucket method. The fourth and final method in terms of utilizing the handheld tactical flashlight is called the syringe method. In order to utilize this method effectively, you will need the combat O-ring, as I will fully demonstrate here in a few moments. But this is called the syringe method. It's where in your support hand you insert your index finger through the combat O-ring. Then the flashlight is positioned between your index finger and your middle finger. What this allows you to do is get a very closely effect of a full grip on the firearm. Now, although utilizing the syringe method provides a full grip on the firearm, at least in a dry fire scenario, is sort of misleading, because my experience has been that utilizing this syringe method in a live fire scenario doesn't quite reach the feel of a full grip on the firearm, particularly as you try to manage the recoil. But it is a method called the syringe method, which is a method that can be deployed. Just recognize that when utilizing this syringe method, that my experience has been, it's difficult to manage recoil on successive shots. So this is the syringe method. Okay, everyone, this brings us to the final piece of the first instructional video. In this case, discussing the use of the handheld tactical flashlight in conjunction with the handgun. Before we conclude the instructional and dry fire phase of this video and head out to the Renaissance Shooting Club where I will demonstrate these methods, I want to share with you a particular technique I utilize with the pucket position. It's called the flip technique. From the pucket position, you're able to flip the light forward, get a two-handed standard grip on the firearm, and take that shot. Again, now, this technique, the flip technique, is effective in low light and moonlight conditions, whereby you're able to get a good sight picture on the silhouette or body presentation of the bad guy to take that shot. Because in this case with the pucket method, you identify the bad guy, you deactivate the tactical flashlight, you flip it, take your shot or successive shots, and then you can retain possession of the handheld tactical flashlight, reactivate that flashlight, and observe the condition of the suspect. This technique, this flip technique, allows you to maintain possession of the handheld tactical device or flashlight and still get a standard two-handed grip on your firearm. So, practice these methods. Practice this flip technique in a dry fire scenario. Then practice these methods and technique using live rounds. It's very important because you can adapt the use of the handheld tactical flashlight to different environments, unlike the weapon-mounted light. But it will require you to gain some proficiency with each one of these methods and the flip technique. So, stay tuned for my next instructional videos. We'll move out to the Renaissance Shooting Club where I will demonstrate these methods in a live fire environment. So, until next time, honor God, love your family, and defend the Constitution.